What's good, 9197 gamers and YouTube? This is your boy Tyler9197, Witcher 9197, Black Wolf 9197, or 9197, back with another video for you guys. And this time, I'm about to go ahead and talk about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, or another name Nintendo calls it, the Nindies. And before I start this video, guys, I want to say two things. One, I wasn't too sure I was gonna really do this video at all at first. I was just thinking like, well, it's probably something I'll just kind of skip over, but I do like to keep track of the gaming news, and then of course I like to give my 2 cents to you guys about it, even though you probably saw it from millions of different sources or YouTube channels that's talking about the same thing. But you know, I still want to give my own 2 cents about it. And then second, guys, another reason why I wasn't really too sure about doing this is because like I'm not the biggest when it comes to indie games, guys. It's not that I don't like them, but for me, when it comes to indie games, it just really depends on what it is. Like, for example, like a game I can use is like Hollow Knight. I really like Hollow Knight. It's like a game that's like, to me, it don't necessarily feel like an indie game, even though it's an indie game, but don't feel like it at the same time. It feel like it's kind of like, it feel like the budget in them games kind of feel more like almost like a AAA, but it's not a AAA. So I guess it's more like a AA game. I guess I think that's the best way to put it. It's like it's in that middle ground. I like indie games like that. That feels like it could be like a AA game, not necessarily a indie, you know, indie style game. And another example too is like Undertale. I played that and I love Undertale, and that was an indie game, but it felt to be like a big budget. Well, at least a big enough budget, you know, of an RPG style game. So it's like, it's them type of indie games that I'm more interested in than just kind of like a base indie game. So that's why I wasn't too sure about it. But enough of that, let me go ahead and tell you guys, I guess, like my highlights of like certain games that are on there that I was kind of like a little bit interested. And I know there was a lot more in there, but I'm not gonna say everything, so I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. But anyway, let me go ahead and talk about my highlights. Alright, guys, I guess one of the games I could talk about, the first thing they showed was Hades. That's definitely like a game that I would like playing. It reminds me kind of like almost like Diablo style type game, and like it's just something like really, you know, like really cool. Like little, like, you know, you play as like play this character that he could summon the different gods and stuff like Zeus and all, like, you know, all the Greek mythology gods and stuff like that. So it looks like it's gonna be kind of cool. Like, you know, you do that, and then he's trying to escape the underworld, and you know, just like overall look like just a fun game in general. So I feel like that's something I might want to see by checking it out. I'm not too sure, because oh yeah, also I will say to you guys, with like all of the games that I'm gonna say that I'm interested in this video, it's not 100% set in stone that I would get them. Probably instead of one game though. There's one game that I might consider, but everything else is not like I'm like 100% in stone that I would get it, but say I'm more interested in. That's the best way I can put it. Alright, guys, for now a second game I can say that I thought looked interesting was Spiritfarer. That one looked kind of interesting. Like, it's definitely one of those games that like I don't necessarily seem like, it's one of those games that I necessarily would go for too much, but more like I don't mind trying it out, because it definitely looks like something that I might be interested in of it, like the story wise of what's going on about when you play as that girl, and you just I didn't when she said like make the spirits rest easy for them to go to the afterlife and stuff like that. I mean, it definitely looks cool. It's like, it's look like a very charming game, very something that is like, you know, just that chill back, relax, and like a very in-depth game, maybe story wise. I'm not too sure, but it looked like it could be like a really simple kit bat, but at the same time I feel like there's story elements in there that I kind of might be interested in, and I don't know, I might think about it, but like I said, it's not set in stone. A third game I could say that I'm kind of you know, a little like my other highlight I feel like I'm kind of interested in is probably the Subnauticus series. I never played them, but I knew they was always interesting. And then plus they got the first one and the second game that's coming out for next year. I feel like, hey, you know, maybe by next year I might get them. Cause I mean, like Subnautica look like something like, you know, something I wanted to try out. Like, you never know, something like that. But like I said, we have to see by then. All right, guys, for a fourth game, I can go ahead and talk about that. That more like this one. I probably added all of them. This is probably the main one I would say I would really would like the highly more likely gonna buy is Raji. Raji's look like a game that indie game that I'm very kind of excited about, and of course it's already out now. It's basically when you play as that Indian girl and you gotta stop this this demon. And I like it how that style, because it made me feel like a kind of like open world-ish type game, but more in the indie style. It looks very detailed and fun, and it's definitely a game that I more likely will try out eventually. Don't know when, but for at least for sure, I'll definitely keep my eyes on it and definitely see about getting it. The fifth game I could go ahead and talk about in the indie. Okay, Evergate. I think that was the game called. I think it was called Evergate. If I'm wrong, please let me know. If I'm wrong, please let me know down below. Cause I want to say it's Evergate, not Everspace. I think it was Evergate. Yeah, I want to say that's the game name, Evergate. But anyway, it definitely looked like another game that kind of remind me of that Hollow Knight feel vibe to it a little bit, just a little bit, and just like it got its own story that looks like it's gonna be very interesting. And overall, after that, I think that's pretty much it. So, Hades, Spearfarer, Subnautica, Raji, and then Evergate. I think, yeah, that's like the 5 games at a whole indie world showcase that I was, you know, a little bit interested in. But anything else than that, like the other stuff they show, not like nothing too crazy. Like I'm like ooh, but like the 5 games I told you, that's like the most out of that whole thing that kind of interests me. But overall, I think that's pretty much it. Like, but if I had a rate, oh yeah, of course I forgot. I gotta do my rating, like I do in my most stuff. So for the Nintendo Nindies, for this one, if I had rated out of 1 out of 10, I would probably, like, honestly, even though I'm not, like I said, actually, matter of fact, before I do the rating, I forgot it was another game too. But this game in particular, I wouldn't necessarily play for the sake, because I'm not big on playing card games. But I would definitely say Card Shark. That one looks pretty interesting too. How they kind of set it, like you can actually cheat with your cards, and then if you get caught, then you know they, like, the people that you're going against, they actually will kill you and this and that. Like, it's very crazy, but definitely not a game I would play just for sake, because I'm not, you know, it's a card game and I'm not really about that. But it definitely looks promising. I can definitely say that much for people who wants, you know, who likes card games. It feel like that's something you might want to check out. But if I had to rate this the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, or Nindies, whatever you want to call it, out of 1 out of 10, in my personal opinion, I would give this showcase, I would say at least, I give it a 7 out of 10. I feel that's fair for me to say that. Yeah, that sounds about fair. It's like, it's nothing like mind blowing, but at the same time, I feel like it don't, like, I wouldn't say it's slightly above average, because like I said, the 5 games I told you about that I'm interested in is definitely, well, I guess you could say 6, but pretty much just 5, because that Card Shark is just kind of like a little extra. But still, like the 5 games I told you about, it's definitely something that I might consider actually want to play, and like overall watching it is very interesting. So yeah, 7 out of 10. I feel like it's fair for me to say that. But yeah, overall that's pretty much it. So guys, what do you guys think about the Nindies? Like, please write down below of your thoughts, or maybe the games that you saw on there that you want to play, or just anything like that. Please write down below. I would like to hear from you guys. But that is it. Please go ahead, hit the like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and follow me on my social media outlets, and hit the bell to get notification of my next video. Alright guys, I love y'all. Peace. God bless y'all. 9197 out.